Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. The global AI landscape is undergoing a seismic shift with the emergence of DeepSeek's groundbreaking generative AI model, RI, which has sent shockwaves across the tech industry. Developed by China-based startup DeepSeek, R1 is being hailed as a formidable competitor to OpenAI's models, showcasing unprecedented performance despite being built with just a fraction of the budget typically required for such large-scale AI projects. What sets DeepSeek apart is its open-source approach and the use of cost-effective, older-generation hardware, a strategy that challenges the traditional AI development model and opens new doors for innovation. In today's Within the Frame, we explore the impact of DeepSeek R1 on the global AI market and its implications for the future of the AI industry. And for this, we invite Sung Soo Eric Kim, Adjunct Professor at Yonsei Graduate School of Business. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you for having me.
And also joining us via Skype is Ashik Kudabuksh, Assistant Professor of Software Engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on your show.
So let's begin right away with Professor Kudabuksh. The Chinese open source AI model, DeepSeek R1, like I said, was released on January 20th, and its low-cost, high-performance technology has shocked the global AI market. As an AI expert, how would you assess the performance of this latest technology and also China's AI capabilities?
So I haven't gotten the chance to play around with DeepSeek R1 firsthand yet, but what I read about its performance, it's very impressive, and it's, I would say, slightly worse than OpenAI's O3 Mini. But when we talk about performance, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. For example, whenever these new models are released, their performances are optimized on the existing benchmarks. So we need more rigorous testing to know how on unseen benchmark datasets DeepSeek R1 would perform. As of now, its performance is pretty good. Then the second thing is when we think about if it's cost effective or high performance, there are a couple of other factors we need to think about. For example, if someone is using DeepSeek R1 through API access, of course, the amount it is charging per token is significantly less than other solutions. But suppose there are two different models, and you ask the same question to both these models, and both of them gave a comparably high-quality answer, but one of them, say, uses 10 or 20 words to give their response, and the other one, say, uses 100 or 200 words. So those kind of factors will come into play, figuring out which one is cost-effective from the perspective of the end user. And the second thing is the API availability could be a factor on in deciding if it can be used for time-sensitive, high-stakes scenario. And finally, I am a researcher focusing on AI safety. And typically what I have seen that whenever a new model arrives, it takes a while to know what are some of the corner cases or what are some of the limitations. Bias audits take actually time to do. In one of our recent papers last year, we observed there are shocking anti-Semitism, racism, and misogyny in many well-known models from, say, Google's Palm 2 or Mistral AI. And those kind of biases were not known up until we did the study, and it took a while to conduct those kind of studies. So it takes a while to do this kind of rigorous testing. So my quick answer is it's impressive, but we need more rigorous testing. And coming back to China's AI capability, as a graduate student and as an assistant professor, I have come across many amazingly talented Chinese students and colleagues. So I'm not at all surprised that their AI capabilities are amazing.
Right. So as of now, with the information that we have, the most noteworthy part is that DeepSeek R1 was reportedly developed in just 2 months, with 10% of the research funds of big tech companies. Unlike the closed AI models developed by American big tech companies like OpenAI, DeepSeek has adopted an open source approach. Professor, could you tell us what is the significance of this difference?
First, I'd like to say that it's difficult to accurately verify how much resources were required to build DeepSeek. But I'm a very strong champion of open science. And also one more point that DeepSeek had the advantage of second mover's advantage. Like when you have an amazing solution coming from OpenAI, you know that it can be done. Then the question changes a little bit, shifts towards how can we do that in a more efficient way, right? So those two things aside, I would say that I'm a huge fan of open science and it's a great initiative. Many open models from, say, Meta's Llama or Mistral AI's Mistral, they have been extremely useful for researchers. And as an AI for social good researcher, I think open models and open science is a great initiative. It democratizes AI resources for other people, for smaller academic labs, startups, groups from all across the globe. They can actually use these technologies for and foster even further innovation. On the other side, I would say that when you think about these models, these are extremely powerful models. So in some way, you can make also a case for API-only restricted access, because if you have access to model weights, you can actually design substantially more powerful attacks to exploit model vulnerabilities. So in some sense, having closed API access also has a point, but as an AI for social good researcher, I would say that open science is a great initiative.
Right. Now let's also bring in Professor Kim into the conversation. So, Professor, what kind of impact will this competition between OpenAI and closed source of AI development approaches have on the industry itself? And do you think the spread of this open source method could be an opportunity for South Korea?
So this technical strategy that OpenAI is pursuing is they're trying to build a entry barrier for technology to protect their proprietary technology. While DeepSeek was very surprising because they chose an open innovation strategy, opening the technology to the public so that anyone can contribute to the innovation of their model and also can enjoy the fruits from their technological development. The advantage of an open innovation strategy will be that they can possibly standardize the technological, standards that they wish to pursue in the AI field. And I think that this has a really good, impact to Korean companies because Korean companies cannot afford the, huge capital in the R&D to develop very, very expensive R&D models. But with this open source technology, they can dramatically reduce the development costs for AI and the possibility of commercializing AI products become a reality now. So in that aspect, it's a competition between OpenAI and DeepSeek in the technological strategy domain of how to win against each other to commercialize and widespread their technological standards.
Mm-hmm. So with this situation, despite, there's a lot of restrictions on China, and DeepSeek is a Chinese company, like we've said, there's a lot of restrictions on this country, but China's AI technology seems to be accelerating more and more. Do you think this means that U.S. sanctions have not been quite effective? And what's your outlook on the power struggle between Washington and Beijing?
So I think that what President Biden mentioned during the Washington doctrine between Yoon and Biden 2 years ago was very symbolic. He responded to a journalist asking whether the AI Chips Act is trying to protect the proprietary technology of the United States against China. He said that he made it really clear that U.S. invented semiconductors and they choose which country to manufacture semiconductors. So in that sense, that's the logic of the United States, and that's the reason why they're trying to protect the important resources to develop AI. But what we have to understand is, although governments try to put sanctions on industries, the role of companies are to innovate despite the difficult environments. Innovation comes from overcoming regulatory environments and market environments. So what was very symbolic and also very surprising was that DeepSeek claims, it's not confirmed, but they claim that they were able to develop a AI model that is one-tenth of the training cost of Silicon Valley tech leaders, and also with only $5.67 million US, which is the annual salary of just a couple of best AI scientists. So I think that symbolized that the AI competition will be severe. And although one country would like to restrict the AI development of the other country, they will also always find innovative ways of how to develop AI. And that's also proven through the technological history. If we look at the history, initially, there's a huge resource and capital allocated to the first mover. But the second mover chases the first mover with a much lesser resource, a lesser capital. That's just a process of technological innovation. So it's going to be a huge struggle between the United States and China, but it's always a matter of who makes it more cheaper and more powerful. So that determines who will win the race, I would say.
Right, so cost efficiency is definitely
Yes.
key in this situation. But mentioning about restrictions, governments around the world, including South Korea, are ramping up efforts to block this use of DeepSeek. Professor Kotaboksh, the ongoing debate about data leakage with generative AI is a concern, but why have countries only taken action specifically against DeepSeek?
So there are a couple of things to keep in mind that when OpenAI came into picture, OpenAI partnered with Microsoft, and Microsoft has decades of goodwill and trust. So that could be one of the reasons people were more at ease with sharing and data with and using OpenAI systems. The second factor that comes into play is that as we are understanding LLMs, understanding LLM security and safety issues, it's an evolving process. And that the more we are learning about it, the more we are being aware of what kind of privacy concern, data leakage, those things can happen. Like if, say, people share a lot of private information with an LLM, and then eventually an LLM is trained on those kind of prompt and response pairs, even if the developers are well-meaning, there could be privacy leakage, there could be security issues. So the understanding of security is also becoming more clearer, so people are becoming more worried about sharing and sharing private data. And then the third thing is, if you think about it, whenever there is an AI system that's being built on right now, the most important asset is the data. So it's quite clear that when there is a competition, all the parties will become much more guarded about it. And also, we do not have the counterfactual. Like suppose we had another similarly capable model, say from India. So if we have like two different models coming from country A and country B, and the rest of the countries are reacting to one of the models differently from another model, then we have a better understanding of how the competition is evolving and how people are reacting to just like one generative AI system. There could be other public policy implications, but as an AI expert, I won't be able to comment on them better. A public policy expert will be able to discuss the political implications much better than me.
Right, so the way that people are reacting to the specific AI means something, you mean, right?
Yes.
Signals something. And the Trump administration has pursued forward with a $500 billion AI infrastructure investment project called Stargate. Professor, what kind of impact do you think the emergence of DeepSeek have on Trump's AI policy direction like Stargate?
Stargate is a grand vision to tackle some of the major infrastructural challenges we will be facing in building robust AI systems. Building high throughput, high performance AI systems that requires a lot of resources like electricity, land, and water. So Stargate's broad vision will not be significantly altered by one generative AI system coming from DeepSeek. But that said, if there is a resource efficient way to do something, then the whole world actually benefits from that. And if the government is willing to spend $500 billion and you have more resource efficient ways to achieve things, then you can do even so much more, right? And Trump administration is now at a very early stage, but it's already quite clear that President Trump's administration places a lot of emphasis on AI. And as an AI researcher, I think that is a great thing. And if the government has such a strong commitment towards building towards AI growth, then we think we have the potential to bring in revolutionary changes in health, science, and education.
Mm-hmm. But amid this, strong competition from China, Professor Kim, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman visited South Korea last week, and he made clear that he wants to, expand its presence here in the Korean market. Why is he specifically targeting the Korean companies?
Well, first of all, I think he really likes Korea. I've seen him visiting many, many times over the past couple of years. Korea is, I think, a really good size of economy to test and the technological frontier because we have strong IT companies. And the characteristics of our IT services is that it's mostly monopolized or it's a oligopoly. So meaning that the market size is larger enough for rolling out these AI models, while we still have more to advance in LLM models, where we do not have our strongest LLM to apply. Some companies like Naver have Naver Clova, which are really strong in LLM, but other companies do not have those technologies. So that's I think, the bridge where OpenAI can find a commercial case of innovation. And I think that the dialogue between Kakao and OpenAI was meaningful in that domain. They've probably found mutual benefits of collaborating between those two tech leaders in each country. So I think that OpenAI will try to find more business cases and technological cooperation in the Korean market.
Mm-hmm. Now, in fact, his meeting with Samsung chairman Lee Jae-yong and SoftBank's Masayoshi Son has garnered much attention, and it's reported that they've talked about Stargate, of course. So if Samsung participates, what role could it play? And do you think it could be a chance for them to, make a comeback?
So when we think about AI, we generally think about NVIDIA because they produce the frontier GPU chips. But if AI technology cannot be developed without data centers. And in order to run high-performance data centers, still memory and foundry is very important, which Samsung Electronics is one of the the biggest players in that market. So Stargate, although it's initially formed between OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, so that's a body, but it has other arms like TSMC and Samsung Electronics that should provide the memory chips. And Samsung Electronics also recently specialized in AI chips. So along with NVIDIA, Samsung Electronics, and TSMC, those partners are really important for Stargate to pursue their technological dream. So that's the reason I think that although the busy schedule visiting from Japan to Korea, I think Sam Altman only spent a couple of hours in Korea and left. But meeting was really important to pursue those dialogues.
Right, indeed. Now, the global AI industry is facing a dramatic shift to, like I've said, DeepSeek from China. Professor Kureboksh, how do you foresee the future of the AI power struggle? And also, what kind of direction should South Korea's AI-related technologies take from now on?
So what I think that there will be many more players going forward. So, for instance, India had a very successful moon mission a couple years back, and they achieved their mission at a significantly lesser cost than NASA. So I wouldn't be very surprised if there is a very powerful LLM that comes from India. And one of the biggest challenges in India is multilinguality. There is a lot of linguistic diversity. So the model from India could be extremely capable in handling multilinguality and could be cost efficient and resource efficient. Because if we go by the moon mission success of India, it wouldn't be too surprising to see that. The second thing that could happen is that if there is a closed model that performs really well, we would see that there could be open models with very similar capabilities coming soon after that, similar to DeepSeek, what we have seen so far. And in that way, I would say that even if a closed model achieves something great, that still has an inspirational angle. For instance, when no one could run 1 mile in less than 4 minutes, no one knew that if it is humanly possible to run 1 mile in less than 4 minutes. After Roger Bannister successfully did that, then many people could actually follow his footsteps and ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. So in that way, I would say that ChatGPT, when it first came, it was a defining moment in AI and NLP tech space because it showed something that it can be done. And then there has been a lot of enthusiasm after that. So even if a closed model performs really well, comes up with amazing capabilities, I think that's a great thing. And then open models will probably just follow suit and create something. And thinking about Korea's AI growth, I think it will be good to have homegrown LLMs or like a homegrown LLM ecosystem, because there are many use cases where cultural understanding of the LLMs could be critical. And one application just comes to my mind immediately is, say, mental health support. In that case, if an LLM is culturally grounded, then it will probably be able to support in a much better and efficient and empathetic way. So if Korea invests more in a homegrown AI ecosystem, that would be great, I think.
All right, so we will look forward to that. I'm afraid we'll have to leave our discussion right here. Professor Kim, thank you so much. And also Professor Kudabaksh, of course. It was a discussion with a complex topic, but both of you did so much great job in breaking this down and giving us a clear picture of the situation for us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame. Be sure to tune in next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Till then, stay informed and engaged.